Coming up today on the Village Idiom.
Britches Duffel. I think some of these could catch on.
Okay, so my favorite ones that came up were the dumper duffel. That's a good
Dumper. Have you ever called your butt your dumper?
Village Idiom. Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that takes a popular saying, usually in English, and takes a shallow, sometimes, if we try hard enough, comedic dive into its usage, its origins, etc. But we'll also just use it to hang our conversation on.
That sounds awesome.
The duration of this episode. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And I am Skinny.
And today's episode starts with this. Do you like it so far?
In the meantime, I'll give you some ASMR.
Okay, perfect. I don't know why that didn't work.
This is me rubbing my hands ASMR.
Okay, let's try that again. And this episode starts with something like this.
Hurry, hurry, hurry! Get on the Bugs Bunny bandwagon!
Going all the way back. Get on the bandwagon. So there you go. Let's get into the title at least right away. Today is Jumping on the Bandwagon.
I would say that this happens to me primarily in sports.
Yeah, totally.
Where normally I watch zero sports.
Same.
I'm that dude who I watch enough or listen to enough sports on the radio so that I can have conversations with dudes who
not even
who are that way.
Yeah, I feel less of a man every time I talk to my
I don't feel man, but
hockey fan friends.
Yeah, some people are really into it, and I have tried.
I was legit a follower of the Vancouver Grizzlies when they were here.
Yeah, that was like the best.
I've been to more.
Vancouver.
Yeah, how long were they here? 1 year?
Something like that.
I've still to this day been to more NBA basketball games than I have hockey.
We had them
games.
for like a couple years, and that was it.
Yeah,
Big Country
Reeves, number 50. See,
really, that's impressive.
I couldn't tell you a thing about hockey.
I remember in '94,
Blue Edwards.
Right. When people are like, did they just boo that guy?
I know everyone's yelling blue. Yeah.
Boo. But we also had it with Lou Pasaglia.
Lou. We're the least supportive fans ever.
And what's his face? Roberto Luongo was also a Lou.
Oh yeah, funny.
Maybe that's just our teams just get disappointed from us booing them.
They think we're booing them constantly.
It's like we gotta have guys with happier names.
Exactly. So yeah, same with sports. Or same thing with me regarding sports. I typically don't follow hockey at all. I'll watch it if somebody buys tickets and I'm going. I'll have the time of my life.
Sure, but it could be anything. If we're like you're gonna go see a
butterfly release at Krause Farms, I'll have the time of my life.
Yeah. It's actually kind of cool, wasn't it? Right. Yeah. So, but '94. The year where we went to the finals for the Stanley Cup.
Oh, that was intense.
And then the whole town went crazy.
So I'm the bandwagon guy.
But I believe Jump on the Bandwagon.
Yeah.
I'm not around for when you're just like sucking and it's like, hey, like I'm going to spend my time watching you suck.
No, that's why you have kids. You are supportive for all the suck that they do.
Well,
I don't need to pamper the Canucks like they're one of my children. Well, good job. It's all about effort.
I just gave you $1 million. No. You perform for me, monkey.
Yeah, if my kids charged me $90 to go see their band concert, I'd be just...
I still wouldn't go.
I for sure wouldn't go.
That's not true. We have to pay to go to ours, but we do.
Yeah, we pay for it in different ways.
But this bandwagoning effect is it's a real thing for being a Vancouverite.
Yeah,
you do.
That's probably in a lot of cities, though.
I don't know, but I know about ours.
Notorious for it.
I know about ours. You jump on. So when '94 happened, and it was like, hey, we're kings of the world. This place was crazy. Everyone had like banners hanging out of their windows.
I even had flags
streamers
on my car.
hanging off of their aerials.
Totally.
Yeah, it was going crazy, and everyone wearing a jersey all the time.
Yeah,
and it was like a weird camaraderie.
Okay, totally different situation.
Like
There's like, if you're not from Canada listening to this podcast, you may not know. I wouldn't call it a feud, but Vancouver doesn't exactly look at Toronto favorably.
Right.
And probably vice versa, or Toronto being the center of the universe, they probably don't even realize we exist. But when the Raptors went that far, I was watching.
Yeah,
I was in.
I'll be a Blue Jays fan.
I was ready to go buy the shirt, or I would never wear something Toronto prior to that.
But like in the football realm, you jump on a Seahawk because Seattle is the closest.
They're just closer. Yeah,
right.
Used to watch the
There you go, right
the
here.
Sonics.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought you were
Sonics
gonna
are gone.
say
There's
name
no
off
there's
some
no Vancouver
football team from Canada.
No.
That you couldn't remember.
Vancouver Grizzlies, Seattle Supersonics, and basketball is just disappearing from my life.
Well, that's one of those things. But being a bandwagon, absolutely, you support success, and you
criticize the rest.
Yeah, you lump on when people are failing. You're like jumping off the bandwagon.
Yeah, totally.
So that same thing when we had a great hockey year, I'm like, you know what? Next year, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to watch every game.
Did you?
And I put it in my calendar. So I was 5 games in. Like, okay, we're doing here. And so be home at 5 o'clock to watch this game. This game's at 8 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to go. 5 games in. We lost like 4 out of 5 of them.
Sounds about right.
And I was done. That's how far my bandwagon.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
that's not the bandwagon.
I'm getting off this train.
You tried to be on from the word go. And
yeah.
Well, we'll get into the origins and whatever, but did you have a good week this week? Anything fun?
Oh, man, I'm still slogging away at the gold hunt.
Oh, man.
It's the hunt that never ends.
Seriously. I wished I could have joined you today. You headed out in the rain to check out
Yeah, we had a promising spot, but it's like that. Someone presents to you something compelling, and you can put all your weight behind it when it sounds like, oh, this could be it. But when it's like a terrible crap idea, you're like, you go for that one yourself. Just good luck with that.
That's why I left. I didn't go with you.
You felt it was crap right away. It was good.
I didn't know all the details of what you were going to look at, and I had a meeting to be at. And
well, it's one of those things. What do you do?
What do you do?
That's pretty good. So I had not to jump in early with the joke, but I do
go for it.
I do so I don't have a standalone joke, but I have I
feel like we need a laugh track when we get to it. Like it's one thing when our jokes just weave into our conversation. You slip in a little bit here, but when it's like, and now here's the joke I wrote. I feel like we have to have a laugh track.
This is less of this is not a standalone joke, but a commentary on bandwagon jumping.
Okay.
That I've framed, and you'll be able to appreciate the humor of the whole thing.
All right.
So fashion trends
Yep.
and all the rest of that, I am. Like, you're actually quite fashionable. Like, you always look
I almost wore the same
amazing.
shirt, not the same shirt, but you got your
Weird Al?
Weird Al shirt, and I just heard the word band. I'm like, do I have any band shirts? Like old rock shirt? That's
Right.
the only thing I
The
could
bandwagon.
find. We could have been matching today. But yeah, thank you for saying that.
And so I'm the reverse of that, where I just have given up on all of that. I don't care. Most of my stuff comes from thrift stores and Costco.
That's all right.
Yeah. So that's my world.
The thrift store part, Costco. That's where I draw the line.
I'm not.
Do you wear Urban Star jeans?
Is that a thing?
They're from Costco.
Oh, I don't even know that brand. I'm still Joe Fresh.
Oh, Canadian Superstore.
So on this fashion trend, something that's made its resurgence back last year, the fanny pack. I am perplexed at people jumping back on this bandwagon.
Of
the fanny pack.
Here's the thing, because some people wear the fanny pack ironically, okay,
Yeah.
and some people wear it because it's back. So if you see them wearing it around their waist like we did in the late '80s, ironic. They're trying to poke fun a little bit, but they're rocking it. They probably have a mustache as well. If they're wearing it across their chest or on their back, it's back in. That's the new fanny pack.
We used to just call those backpacks.
But it's not. It's a fanny pack worn differently. Okay. Yeah, so here I'm using one right now.
Are you?
I'm not right now while we record, but when I go out, it's right over there in the corner.
Okay. You know the hardest part about wearing a fanny pack?
Don't.
Is finding one that's your size.
Yeah, it is. Yesterday, went to a store and paid for something, and then as I was leaving, I'm like, oh, that's a cool jacket. Took off the fanny pack, took off my hoodie, put on this new jacket, decided not to get it left, got all the way home. Where's my fanny pack?
Oh, that's what you get for wearing one.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the punishment.
I left my purse in the store.
I left my fanny pack.
Okay, joke. You were telling a joke.
So getting into the joke, I assembled 10 words for fanny and 10 words for pack. And so I'm going to get
I apologize right now to all our UK listeners.
Yeah, that's a different kind of fanny. So 10 words for fanny, 10 words for a pack. And then so you can pick a number from each column, and I'll put them together
to create a new
phrase
word
for the fanny pack. Okay. So the ones that were kind of internet-y, fanny pack.
So
the belly bag.
There's 10 on each. I can't pick 1 and 11.
No, you can't pick 1 and 11. So 1 to 10 and 1 to 10.
Can you add one just so I can say 1 11?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let's go 1 and 1.
That's a Tooka's pouch.
Tooka's. Okay, let's go. I just want to hear them all. We don't have time. Okay, random. 5 and 3.
Oh, that's a pooper poke.
No, that's terrible.
It's a pooper poke.
Poke for bag. Oh, for bag. That's
for
right.
For bag, it's a poke.
Oh, yeah, we talked about
that. That's a pooper poke.
Pooper poke. That's the worst combination ever. Okay, one more. 9, 8.
Okay. Okay, wait. That is a britches duffel.
Britches duffel. I think some of these could catch on.
Okay, so my favorite ones that came up were the dumper duffel. That's a good
dumper. Have you ever called your butt your dumper?
No, but when I looked up 10 words for your bum, then dumper was one of the lists.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dumper came up.
Oh, so you didn't just make that
up?
No.
Okay. No, I looked at the list. And so a dumper duffel. Is that one not amazing?
Is badonkadonk on there?
It was on there, but I didn't use it. Yeah. The shaker satchel.
Shaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the pooper pouch.
Pooper pouch.
Pooper pouch was like...
That's pretty close. I got pooper poke.
I'd rather have a pouch than a poke as it relates to my pooper.
Okay, well, you know what? Since you threw your joke... Oh, it's not really a joke, but whatever. I'll throw mine. Mine is an actual joke.
Okay.
Needs a laugh track.
Okay.
How is an air conditioner like someone who jumps on the bandwagon?
I don't know. How is it?
They act all cool and go with the flow, but they're not actually a fan.
Nice. Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
All right. Well, you want to get into it?
That's no dumper duffel.
No, that's pretty great. It's no pooper poke.
I said some words. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind.
All right, so it's time for the origin. It's time when we get into the nerdy and the dirty background of our idiom of the day. So why don't I start?
Sure.
First of all, I came across this immediately trying to figure out the background of this, and it's the origin of the word bandwagon first.
Okay.
Forget the whole phrase, just the word bandwagon. Did you notice who came up with this? Did you look up anything?
Nope.
You're just taking the week off? Let me lead this one.
Okay.
The word bandwagon was coined in America in the mid-19th century simply as the name for the wagon that carried the circus band. And Phineas T. Barnum, the greatest showman.
Bailey? Wow.
The greatest showman himself, the circus owner, used the term in 1855.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman made this word up in his unambiguously named autobiography, The Life of P.T. Barnum, that he wrote himself. And he said, at Vicksburg, we sold all our land conveyances except for 4 horses and the bandwagon. First time it was used in print, P.T. Barnum.
That's funny.
Yeah, right? I was like, P.T. Barnum. Usually we're like, the first person to coin this phrase was Sir Edward Allgard from... We've never heard of him, but...
I could put it more as, like, when I think of
So that's not jumping
wagon,
on the bandwagon. That's not the idiom, just the word bandwagon.
I think of that wagon kind of in that Midwest... Like we're crossing
Yeah.
America with a stagecoach.
Circle the wagons.
Yeah. So the bandwagon is just the wagon where the band hangs out.
Where the band is. Yeah. It's funny. This weekend I was at a family sort of fair thing at, you for those listening local, Wagner Hills had a family fair, and they had different bands playing all day in one of those wagons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That'd be the easiest way to wheel a band off.
That was literally a bandwagon. You guys are done.
Next up.
Circle the wagons. It's just a rotation of the wagons. Next band.
That would be a great way to do it.
Yeah. So it's funny that you say that because, I was in a band. And so my first thought was there was the odd time, wasn't our favorite thing to do, that you end up performing on a float in a parade.
That would
and
be
I'm
amazing.
like, that's a bandwagon, pretty much.
Sure. Well, because the other way of doing that when you're just being there is a bandstand.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Right. And so
this one moves.
yeah. And then there's the running band. That's the running band.
No.
You have to have 4 or more people, or it doesn't consider it.
And if you're really flexible, it's a rubber band.
Yeah.
So unrelated to bandwagon, it was lumped into the one article I read about this. P.T. Barnum, there's a few phrases that he's given credit for. Some have been disputed, including one that it's like a tie between him and Abraham Lincoln of who said this
That's
first.
not even the
Isn't that
same
funny?
era.
Right? It's like
Right.
attributed to. That's like a not in concrete.
Step right
it's
up.
been attributed to.
Step right up.
You know,
It's time for emancipation.
Yeah.
Step right up.
You know the one, I'm going to get it wrong, but it's like you can fool some of the people some of the time, but
Yep.
that one is torn between P.T. Barnum and Abraham Lincoln. That's the one.
Who
But
knew
for
they had such a
sure,
feud?
from P.T. Barnum, he did come up with the word. So when you hear the word jumbo, what do you think? How would you define the word jumbo?
Dumbo.
No, but the definition of jumbo.
Something that's large.
Right. That's because of P.T. Barnum. Originally, the word
Jumbo the flying elephant.
was it was slang, but it meant a person who is clumsy or unwieldy. Like that was your jumbo. If you're just clumsy all the time.
Okay. So it had nothing to do with girth.
No, not until P.T. Barnum named his giant, one of the most famous circus elephants of all time, Jumbo. Named him Jumbo, and it's because of a couple of reasons. It's possible that there's an African word that means elephant that kind of sounds like that. But as a result, because of the size of that elephant and the fame, the word jumbo began being used about
Interesting.
anything huge because
Right.
jumbo was jumbo.
Like jumbo shrimp.
Yeah, it's because it was huge, not because it's clumsy and unwieldy. But that'd be funnier.
A jumbo
I'll
shrimp?
have the jumbo shrimp. How do you know they were jumbo? How do you know these are clumsy shrimp?
This dumb shrimp kept going into the pier. It's like this thing. This is
And
jumbo
then,
shrimp.
you go to rabbit trails on the internet, right? Jumbo, the elephant, died. He got hit by a train. And
This part sounds made up.
No, this is legit. Jumbo, the famous circus elephant back in the day, got hit by a train. And they taxidermied whatever. So the skeleton got sold to a museum. The torso, which I was trying to think of, what is a torso of an elephant? Is it the front legs?
His front half.
Front half.
His top half. His legs. Because that would be a torso.
Would include his front legs.
Yeah, I would put his
Anyway,
front
his torso was taxidermied, or however you say that, and on display as they continued to travel. And I don't know what happened to the back half of him. Maybe that's where the train hit.
legs. Make a couch.
And then it gets better. Then Jumbo, the taxidermied Jumbo, got destroyed in a fire. And it gets even better. You know, Roadside America?
Okay.
You look up, you want to go see Jumbo? It's 14 ounces of ashes in a peanut butter jar in Massachusetts in this little side
That's terrible.
store. So Jumbo's ashes, the Jumbo ashes are in Massachusetts. And
That's funny.
want to hold that jar. Okay, we have derailed. Back to the bandwagon. So circus workers were, it was an actual skill how they could attract the public. 'Cause obviously, they're not pre-announcing that they're even coming, right? They just roll into town. And so they would,
That's where you get these crazy attractions, with the old bearded lady and
Yeah.
Like you got to come
But
see.
they
some
would
of these,
show up and they would drag the bandwagon through town, like all the razzmatazz and music. Yep, all that just to get people coming over. And it was a very common use of how to draw a crowd and tell people, tonight, come tonight. You were finding out that day because of the bandwagon. So funny enough, the bandwagon was the first thing. If you joined the bandwagon then, if you jumped on the bandwagon, you were the first one there. You're like, I'm in. I'm going.
Oh, wow. That's a
And
latecomer now.
Because of the success of the circus using the bandwagon to draw a crowd, it within a couple of years became a popular way to draw a crowd for politicians as they traveled. They do the
Interesting.
same thing. Bring a band with them, drive through town.
That's like a parade.
Yep, that's how they did it.
I could see back in the day the circus coming to town.
Was massive.
It'd be a
Can you
crazy
imagine?
ordeal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tents
you're
coming
just
through.
farming.
You're like, what's in that?
And then once
container?
every 4, 5, 10 years.
half of an elephant coming by. You're like, what is that?
Yeah, and some of the animals like there wasn't even enough education. Some of them would be completely, you've never even heard, maybe not an elephant, but some animals you've never heard of or for sure not seen, probably not even in a picture.
Wow.
So the transition from literally jumping on the bandwagon to go see the circus or to see, to show your alliance to a politician, and the way we figuratively use it today was that transition was totally in place by the late 1800s. Even Teddy Roosevelt made a clear-cut reference to the practice in his letters in 1899. When I once became sure of one majority, they tumbled over each other to get aboard the bandwagon. Had nothing to do with the circus, nothing to do with politics, even though it's Teddy Roosevelt. Had to do with, that is now an idiom for jumping on late to something. Because that's essentially the usage now is join a group that's in support of someone or something, and typically an opportunistic sort of way where you're coming in late. It's already popular.
Use your fame.
Yeah.
I'm going to use your success and then jump on that.
Yeah, of course I'm going to jump on that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Which is funny now because people often are unsure as to tying themselves to people for fear that if you mess up, well, now I'm associated with you.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So you got to be careful.
People
whose
are
bandwagon
hesitant.
you got to jump on.
Exactly. I thought it was interesting though that the bandwagon was the first thing, but the way we use it now is you're jumping on way after the fact.
Well, your research is way more interesting
than what?
Than mine.
What was yours?
Because I started looking up wagon, then I got into wagon wheels, and then I never came back.
I did that too. I'm like, wagon wheel.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Jump on the wagon wheel, and then it was like a picture of a wagon wheel, and then I got lost.
You're talking about the cookie,
I'm talking about the treat with like a marshmallow on a wafer covered in chocolate.
Fun fact.
Sure.
Wagon wheels are one of the few things prepackaged individually, peanut-free, that if you're having a group of kids, it's a go-to. You don't have to worry about allergies.
Really?
Yeah.
I would guess there'd be a peanut concern, even though there's none in there.
Nope. No peanut, individually wrapped. It's a go-to. It's perfect.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I was looking
way to go, wagon wheel.
you done it. You gone and done it. So when I went down my rabbit hole, then it was related to the slogans that they've used over the years
for wagon wheel. Oh, this is interesting.
And how it's evolved. Some of it's a little risque.
Really?
Yeah.
Wagon wheel, the treat.
Wagon wheel, the treat for children.
Gets edgy.
Well, I guess it depends on where you're at. So, wagon wheel, a taste for adventure. That's all right, huh?
Sure. Yeah. Sounds very Old West wagon.
Wagon wheel, so big you got to grin to get it in.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
That's special. Wagon wheel. If there's a bigger bite, it can't be found.
Huh. I like that.
Yeah. And so in Australia in the 80s, they had their own, it's more than a biscuit. It's a mighty big snack.
Is that Australia?
Yeah.
Do it in Australia.
Okay. It's more than a biscuit, mate. It's a mighty big snack.
That's the worst.
Crikey.
Slogan.
And then now I believe it's just eat the wagon wheel. It's just like these people are too dumb to know what to do.
Oh, it's funny how some of those just work though.
Eat this.
You should eat it.
This thing in the package, eat it.
Take the package off.
Yeah.
Okay, I have some fun other bandwagon things, but you'll recognize this first.
This is Kent Brockman with an Isotope baseball update. The Topes are in first place since the acquisition of Home Run King, Buck Mitchell.
That's funny.
Here we go.
Thanks to him, Springfield is once again overrun with fair weather fans.
The Isotopes are winning to the bandwagon.
There it is.
Funny that Simpsons reference to call their baseball team the Isotopes.
The Isotopes,
because they're nuclear factory. That's hilarious.
So bandwagon.
To the bandwagon.
Some other uses of bandwagon. Right. And in the scene, they're sitting on the couch, classic, right? Bart and Lisa are on the floor. And to the bandwagon, the whole family up and goes. Like,
well, people pride themselves on... Well, I knew them before they were big.
I know. That's not... that's not... Those people hate the bandwagoners.
Yeah, but they pride themselves on, like, I got in early. I was a ground floor level type person.
Yeah.
But there's an adoption cycle.
That only counts in my multi-level marketing.
I was a diamond, emerald, ruby before you. Where there's that adoption cycle of people who are early adopters versus late adoption. The early adopters love to say that they were early adopters.
I knew it all along. I was there in the beginning.
But they're the ones, like, I'm a Google fanboy, and so when they put out some crazy new product, I'd be like, I gotta try this. This is gonna be great, guys. And then it'd be like, totally suck, or they discontinue using it after 2 years, like Google does. And then, so that early adoption, you spend all your time trying to convince people on how something is amazing, but it's not.
Yeah. And everyone's
Google
like,
Wave.
3 years later, everyone's excited about it.
It's gonna transform communication. It's like, and canceled. Didn't transform anything.
So here's a couple of extras for you. Bandwagon is also a half-hour music program. This is kind of interesting. Half-hour music program that features traditional dance music like polka. It's mostly polka. And it's performed in front of a live audience with dancing and the whole
like
bit.
Dick Clark. This is American Bandwagon.
This is Bandwagon.
American Bandwagon.
And it's produced and broadcast in Mankato, Minnesota. But here's the interesting part. It's been airing since November 21st, 1960. And there's some debate, but it's the only one still going. So it wins either way. The longest running televised music program in the world.
Really?
It's called Bandwagon out of Minnesota. Local station. Still kicking it for, 40, 50 years.
That's crazy.
There's also Bandwagon Musical, 1953, starring Fred Astaire. And classic Fred Astaire movie, a musical star trying to make it big on Broadway. So, yeah, Bandwagon, the Bandwagon. It's out there. Jump on.
Would have had no idea it had gone so far. But, yeah, speaking of Riddlinks.
Riddlink is a game we like to play where we take a two-part trivia-based question and it requires a two-part overlapping answer. So, for example, last week we talked about our idiom was I heard it through the grapevine. And
you wanted to jump into the Riddlinks now.
Is that all right?
That'd be fine.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about like just the general idea, how we felt we had this idea years back. And then other things of
I thought that was your segue. I was supposed to jump in.
Oh, no. And then I thought, you know how other programs like Wheel of Fortune have
evolved?
Got on to, they do their version of Riddlink. It's called Before and After.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But we had it first.
I know.
That was us.
That was us. Ideas that were like so far back that didn't catch on at the time.
That's not fair.
And then people got on the bandwagon, became popular, and there you go.
And Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. So
Bob's your Uncle Cracker.
That would have been a good one.
Exactly.
So tell us about your
last week. Our Riddlink was this. We left it for all you guys. We said the first to record I heard it through the grapevine is by that very fact or act. This is one of the trickier ones. This is the first time, and I don't know how long, that nobody submitted an answer to.
What?
So I did make it obscure, and maybe I should have been more.
I couldn't figure it out at the time, and I didn't.
Did you ever?
No.
So by that very fact or act, maybe if I had added the first to record I heard it through the grapevine is Latin for by that fact or act.
Oh, okay.
So the correct answer, of course, Gladys Knight and the Pips were the first to record it. So the correct answer is Gladys Knight and the Pipso Facto.
Wow.
It was a difficult one.
That was challenging.
So that's how it works, though.
As you were explaining it, I'm still not getting it.
That's how it works. Gladys Knight and the Pips and ipso facto. You overlap them by a syllable.
Gladys Knight and the Pipso Facto.
There's your answer, yeah.
Well, I like it. Well, let me give you one.
Okay.
Here we go. Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson aren't able to attach to another's success.
Easy breezy. White man can't jump on the bandwagon.
That's it.
That was great. Okay, here's one for you. You ready? These illegally imported goods have joined the crowd with something already popular.
These illegally imported goods.
Illegally imported goods.
I'm go jump on the bandwagon, but illegally imported goods that starts with jump? Man.
Okay, get rid of jump on the.
What is bandwagon?
Yeah.
Contrabandwagon.
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Contrabandwagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was adding too many words in there. Okay. Let's see what we got here.
I should have used, here's a little cheater I've noticed we do. Instead of saying these illegally imported goods have joined the crowd with something already popular. If I'd have said these illegally imported goods have jumped on, so I use the word jump, so you know you can't use the word jump.
Right.
That would have helped you.
That's okay.
I'll do better.
Ride another success and a taste for adventure.
Oh, man. Jump on the bandwagon wheel.
That's it.
Yeah. See, I'm getting better at this. You always plant these answers early in the podcast so that I can get it later. And then I still go, what? I don't know what you said.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, I got one more that I want to leave for everybody out there.
Why don't I tell them how they can get a hold of us?
Okay, do that.
You can reach us at the.village.idiom on Instagram or the Village Idiom Podcast at Gmail or via Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at 3 Minutes Gone.
Perfect. Here's one for all our illegitimate children out there listening with us. Joining an already popular movement was the movie where a 43-year-old John Candy died of a heart attack while filming.
Wow, I'd have to do some research. I don't know.
But I think there's enough there. You could research it.
There is enough there.
Yeah.
I liked it. We had a lot of fun making today happen.
Indeed.
I hope you enjoyed listening to it. I am Skinny.
I am Jurassic James Harlow Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
Get off your butt and onto your own bandwagon.
That's 3 minutes gone.